Right. Black Belt Barrister, as I was saying. He's at it again. He's trying to discredit anybody who is challenging the council tax. Now, he is just done a video with, it was yesterday, talking about why you have an obligation to pay council tax. And he said that the governments basically have the law, which was created by legislation. Well, you know, the fact that we think that we need to consent to be governed, he says, is ridiculous, because the way he's explaining the situation is you do not have to give your consent to be governed. Well, that to me means that we are slaves. If I choose to question something and say, actually, where is my obligation to pay this, and you can't give it to me, and all you can come back and say to me that in 1066 this happened, and in 1275 this happened, and legislation created law. No, it doesn't. Legislation does not create law. Law is something natural. Legislation is man-made. Man cannot create something for another man without consent. Now, if we go back to it goes back to 1066 or 1275 or 1340 whatever or 15 whatever. Do you know, I don't care about history because it's corrupted. So you can go back in your books, Big Black Belt Barrister, and you can read whatever and regurgitate whatever it is you want in those books that are all lying anyway. But it means nothing to me because that's history that's been corrupted, and I no longer want to stand by that history. And I certainly don't believe that I don't have free will to the point where you no longer need my consent to tell me what to do, including my consent to have some experimental poison put into my body against my wishes. Because if I don't, I can't travel. I can't keep a job. I can't do this. I mean, this is how crazy it's got. By their own legislation, which apparently, in his own words, legislation created law, you're saying that through this, I have no consent to anything. To anything. To ask, hold on, yeah, he's controlled opposition. And he goes on and keeps spouting rubbish about this king, that king, whatever. And basically he said it was the decision of the king binding everybody across nations, regardless of their knowledge or agreement to whatever they say. So we've got a king who decided, I'm going to bind everyone to what I say. And you have to follow what I said because I've made it law, because I'm the king. I'm God. I'm God. I've made it law. So Parliament can tell you what to do because from the king has given the authority to Parliament to tell the people what to do against their wishes, against their consent. And you cannot challenge. Hold on a minute. Why do I have to pay this? Well, because legislation says, yeah, but I didn't agree to this. Is that not slavery? Is that not slave mind? Is that not the same of all these people in the city that are working like robots, being slave to a corporate system? You're trying to say to me that I'm wrong for not having that slave mind and questioning my obligation as to why, as an individual with free will, God-given free will, I can't say to you, why do I have to pay this? Where does my money go? Prove to me my money doesn't pay terrorism. You can't. You're funding terrorism. So, Mr. Black Belt Barrister is obviously working And when you watch his video, I'd love to be able to play his video and go through it all, but he's reading from a script that's been presented to him by the higher powers simply because the people are gaining traction. And this is the threat, and this is why you've got people like him doing what they do, trying to convince you, that you do not have free will, that you are still a slave to a corporation because some Dick King decided that he was going to be God and tell you, I'm binding you and everybody across the nations, regardless of your knowledge or your agreement, you have to do what I say. That to me is modern day mafia. You give me your money because I've bound you to this, and Parliament has authority over the people. And therefore, anyone questioning Parliament is a shill. Yeah, that's right. Anyone questioning Parliament is wrong because they don't understand their history. The same history that's been corrupted over the years. Let's not forget about the book burning days. Yeah. So when I look at the word Parliament, when you really, really think about the word Parliament, right? And you think, hold on a minute, everything derives from Latin. All roads lead back to Rome, don't they? Everything comes back to Latin. When you look at the word Parliament and you break it down, Parliament, parla, means to speak, ment, mind. Parla, speak, mind. So Parliament, speak my mind. What we've done, speak mind. We've given authority to Parliament to speak on our behalf and act as our mind. If you go back to the Latin and you break the two words up, speak, mind. Parliament. So we've apparently given them authority by even calling them Parliament, which derives back to Latin, to speak their mind on our behalf, to control our minds. That's what we've done. So, we've acted, somewhere along the line, allowed Parliament to become our mind. So Parliament will speak our minds, and they've taken control. There is a remedy to this. It's very simple. It's bilingual, so it's recognised all over the world. It's derived from Latin, and we can all use it. You don't need pen, you don't need paper, you don't need to fight it. It's something that will work when everybody does it. And since Parliament is derived from Latin, all roads lead to Rome, and it means to control my mind, my remedy is, in a term that everybody can understand, one simple word. Vaffanculo. Derived from Latin, which means up yours. So it's the simplest remedy ever, and everybody can do this. Derives from Latin, vaffanculo. That's what we say to Parliament, because we do not allow them to control our mind. We are created by the divine. He's the only one that can, or the divine is the only one that has any control over our minds, not a fake corporation that's taken control. I'm taking control, and my answer to that, my remedy is vaffanculo, derived from Latin. That's the word, vaffanculo. Because if that's the only language they're going to understand, it's derived from Latin. And in case you don't speak Italian, we all understand body language. Way! Blue mouth. So, Black Belt Barrister, simple terms. Vaffanculo! Your legislation has no power over me. That's what I say, without even saying it. Today, great feeling. Take control. Take that, Black Belt Barrister. In fact, take it all the way. There you go, Mr. Black Belt Barrister. In fact, that's a bit of a black belt move, isn't it, Barrister? See how hard you can shove it. So there's your answer. In Latin, derived from Latin. No one can tell you what to do. And this is the problem we've got right now. It's because people like the Black Belt Barrister will spread some absolute rubbish about this legislation, that legislation, which was created in 10 whatever when we weren't around, which means absolutely nothing to me. What is important is the now, is where we are right now. This is what we need to be dealing with. Right now, the people have had enough. We are being shafted left, right and centre while they're reaping all the benefits. They are controlling our every move, and we are still in a system of slavery. Because if a dead entity, a corporation called Parliament, can think they can control my mind, where I no longer have the right to consent, not happening. Not happening. I don't care what history books you want to present, what law you think legislation created. Right now, my will, your will, everybody's will has got to the stage where we have had enough. And so, say it with me. Vaffanculo. That's today's motto. Keep it going, because that's the only way we are going to get out of this shithole. It's going to have to be the people standing up. And let's bring it as close to Latin as we can. Vaffanculo. Look at that. Even Vaffanculo. Black Belt Barrister. There you go. So, on that note, I'm going to go. Join me tomorrow, where 10 o'clock in the morning, Vaffanculo. 10 o'clock in the morning, hopefully I'm going to double check with the lady, but tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock, doing a live, which should be interesting. Again, we can try and get as many tools as we can together to fight the system, but in the end, it is your will and your fight alone that's going to make this happen. Thank you, Antonella. Your fight, your energy and your drive to want to make a change. And as Simon said yesterday, everyone is going to do it in different ways. You've got the peacekeepers challenging the whole system, prove my obligation, which is why Black Belt Barrister and his cronies feel threatened. In Russian, yeb-vas. Did I say yeb-vas? Did I say that right? Yeb-vas. Is there an action as well? Yeah, do you know what? Every language, let's do it. Russian, yeb-vas. Tell me if I'm saying it wrong. Go on. I love it. We've got Italian, vaffanculo. I don't know what actually some people do it sideways, you know, they do it sideways and you can do it upways. You can do whatever way you like. It's such a good feeling when you can, yeah, no, you know, great feeling. And the effort you put into it, the energy you put into it feels good. So drop it in your language, drop it in there and tell them, up yours, English, up yours. I'd love to, if we've got Polish here, bring them on, put it in your language, you know, whatever, put it in there. Let's get it out there. So nobody can create an obligation for you. I don't care. And, you know, I stopped listening. I didn't, you know, because I think after about 4 or 5 minutes from the Black Belt Barrister's video, all I could hear was blah, 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 because everything he says is from a script and it's trying to convince you that you are a slave. Are you a slave? We are all slaves in one way or another, I understand that, but how long are we going to just be, shafted and allow them to do this? People are suffering. People are suffering. Do you know, we now have police still helping bailiffs break into property. We now have bailiffs actually using disc cutters to break into your front door. Breaking the rules all along. So we need to keep fighting. This isn't going to be over anytime soon. And they're going to try and push more and more and more onto us. The point is, it's not about technology. It's not about cashless society. It's about the fact that you, no matter what, should have a choice. You should have a choice. You should be able to work for yourself, make your own money, look after your own family, and contribute in society where you know that your money is being contributed where you want it to go. Not to fund wars, to fund these people in governments, to fund crime, to fund immigrants coming over. That's not where our money should be going. That's not what we want. And to get to the point where you can't work unless you have a jab which goes against your beliefs. That's not what we want. So, anyway, I'm going to go. Wish you all a great day. Don't forget. Okay? Much love to you all. Bye for now.